the track.
It's 2020, and I never put up my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2020. And to be honest, the first 2 months of this year, I really didn't have anything on that list. So, getting into it, we're going to just dive straight in. My top 10 most anticipated films of 2020. Number 10, Ghostbusters Afterlife, or Ghostbusters 2020. The trailer really sold me on this one because after the last Ghostbusters movie, I definitely wasn't looking forward to this one. But the trailer was really good. Paul Rudd looks like an excellent fit for this franchise. And the two kids, Finn Wolfhard, and I don't know the girl's name. I haven't really seen her in anything, to be honest. But they look like they're going to be excellent in this role. And the vibe of the trailer just really hit me, and I really can't wait to see this one in theaters. My number 9 is Bill and Ted's third movie, Bill and Ted Face the Music, and it's been so long since the last one, but Keanu Reeves is in amazing shape when it comes to movies these days. John Wick Chapter 3 was great. John Wick Chapter 2 and 1 were great. Matrix 4 is coming out next year. John Wick 4 is coming out next year. And Wild Stallions is getting back together for their reunion in 2020. And I can't wait for this movie. You don't understand how much I love the original two. Mostly Excellent Adventure, but absolutely incredible movies. I know they're stupid funny movies, but they are stupid funny movies that I absolutely adore, and I cannot wait to see the third installment in this franchise. Number 8 is A Quiet Place Part 2, and Part 1 had me gripping the edge of my seat the whole time, and it was such a great movie, such a relief, because it could have flopped real hard. Having a movie with that concept and really needed to kill it, and it did. John Krasinski did a great job, and I'm so glad he came back for the second one, because at first he wasn't going to, and that really worried me, but now that he's back, I can't wait. And the early reviews that are coming out about it have been that it's even better than the first one. I'm not going to go that far and say I think it's going to end up that way, but I think it's going to end up great. Emily Blunt is astonishing in everything she does. Noah Jupe's been really good the past few years, and I think this is going to be no exception to that. The daughter, I don't really know her name. I don't think she's been in much, but she did a great job in the first one, and I expect the same from the second one. Number 7 is 007's No Time to Die. I love Daniel Craig as 007 James Bond, and with Billie Eilish doing the music and releasing the song, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, she released the song that she did for this movie. It was beautiful. It was fitting. It sounds like it's going to be a great soundtrack for the movie. The trailer was great. Daniel Craig's leaving this franchise, and I hope he leaves on a high note, because the last two were a bit compared to the first two in this franchise, but nevertheless, I think this is going to be badass, amazing, and just a fun time. Cannot wait. I will be there day one in theaters. Number 6 is Last Night in Soho. What I haven't seen any promotional stuff for, but I know Thomasin McKenzie's in it, and there's a few other actors that are known. But this is Edgar Wright's next movie after Baby Driver, and after Baby Driver, I just wanted more Edgar Wright. And I also wanted to see Edgar Wright's Ant-Man movie that he ended up not doing. What I did like Ant-Man. I actually really liked Ant-Man. But Edgar Wright has such a great style, and he's so, a perfectionist, that I would have loved to see his version of that character. Either way, though, really looking forward to this. I actually don't even know the premise of it. I just know it's Edgar Wright, and I know the name of it. Last Night in Soho is my number 6. Number 5, a trailer that just dropped in this past week, The Green Knight, starring Dev Patel and the director of A Ghost Story. What I absolutely loved A Ghost Story. It was one of my favorite movies of that year. Casey Affleck was amazing in that. He became one of my favorite actors with A Ghost Story and Manchester by the Sea. though he hasn't done much lately. He's the better Affleck brother, in my opinion. But getting back into A24's newest movie, that is The Green Knight. This thing looks like Lord of the Rings, what admittingly I haven't seen yet. I know, you're gonna give me shit in the comments, but Lord of the Rings mixed with like a deep version of like Hereditary. I don't know if that's just a weird thing to say, but it reminded me of Hereditary meets Lord of the Rings, but better, because I don't like Hereditary. Another thing you're gonna give me shit for in the comments. Go for it. I don't mind. But this looked amazing. The trailer looked epic, and I really can't wait for this one. I will be checking that out in theaters. Hopefully A24 starts to wide release their stuff better, because not many theaters get in A24 films, and I get it, because A24 is a smaller company. They can't really pay to have it out there as much. And not as many people are going to see smaller movies, what they should. I emphasize that you should, because smaller movies is what makes Hollywood great. Not the big blockbusters. Nothing wrong with blockbusters, I like them too. But smaller Oscar bait films are what makes great cinema. Number 4, what at this point I haven't seen anything updated about this. It's supposed to come out this year. I'm really doubting it. So if not, I guess this one will be a waste of a spot. But Nightmare Alley with Guillermo del Toro directing. I don't know who's in it, but I will watch anything with Guillermo del Toro. Pan's Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies ever. Shape of Water was my favorite movie that year. I believe that was 2018, and it won Best Picture, and it was deserving. It's such a beautiful film. Del Toro really knows how to just make a story grab you and bring you into it, and his set designs and characters just make you feel like you're in the movie and you're watching this fantasy that's just real, and it doesn't feel like you're watching fake characters. I don't know how to put it. He just really takes you into his films, and I love that about him. He's such a great director. He's done nothing but great films over the past 20 years, even longer than that, and can't wait for this film. Hopefully it comes out this year. If not, you'll see it again on my 2021 most anticipated list. My number 3 is another trailer that just dropped in the past week, The French Dispatch, starring Timothée Chalamet, who has been great in his career, and a bunch of other people. I'm not going to list off. There's like 20 known names in this movie. And it's Wes Anderson doing what Wes Anderson does. He has a strange, weird style of filmmaking, but it works, because I feel like when you watch a Wes Anderson movie, you know it's a Wes Anderson movie, and not many directors can do that, where you know you're watching their film, and you feel like their films all take place in the same world, in a way, because they're all so unique and different. The last movie he did was Isle of Dogs, I believe, and I absolutely love that movie. Fantastic Mr. Fox is another one that he did, and I didn't love Fantastic Mr. Fox as much as I thought I would, but it was a really enjoyable movie with a really fun concept. And I don't even know what The French Dispatch is really about. I just know the cast. Benicio del Toro's in it, who I absolutely have been falling in love with for years. He's been great in everything I've seen him in. And like I said, Owen Wilson, Jason Schwartzman, Bill Murray. I can't even remember how many, because there's so many people there. Definitely go out and check this one out if you're a fan of Wes Anderson. If you don't like Wes Anderson, I wouldn't even bother, because Wes Anderson, like I said, his movies are really like the same style and just different stories around that style. So if you don't like his style, don't bother. You're gonna hate it. But I will be there day one to check that one out as well. My number 2, another Timothée Chalamet movie, Dune. With Denis Villeneuve behind the camera, I will watch any movie, any concept. And this one really is right up my alley. It's a science fiction remake, and it looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. The last sci-fi movie he did was Arrival, what I absolutely loved coming out of the theater. Rewatching it, it lost a little bit because of knowing the ending. I feel like that movie really benefits from not knowing what's going to happen. But he's also done movies that I've loved, like Prisoners. He's done Sicario. He's done so many great films over the past few years, and he has such a great track record that it's hard to doubt him. Blade Runner 2049, another great science fiction movie. I haven't seen this one yet, but Enemy, I've heard, is amazing, so I gotta check that one out. I heard it's a total mind, blow movie, and I can't wait to check that one out. But Dune has a great cast, great direction. It's based off novels and stuff that people love, and a original movie that people didn't love at first but has a cult following. Cannot wait. I definitely think this one's going to be amazing, especially coming out in December. You know he's going for an Oscar nom when it comes out that late in the year. That's the Oscar bait season. It's either Oscar baits or comedies in that time, and this isn't a comedy. This is going to be an Oscar film, and I definitely expect to see this at the Oscars in 2021 for our 94th Oscar. And I will be reacting to that and hopefully saying Dune should win Best Picture. Unless this next film wins Best Picture, what I definitely would love to see. But before I get into that, let's get into some honorable mentions. I have a few that I'm not even mentioning because there's so many movies that come out every year, and 9 out of 10 times, the movies I choose to be on my anticipated list end up not being my favorites of the year because so many great films come out that you don't even know about yet. Honorable mentions, though, anything MCU or DC related, I will be going to watch, and I'll be excited to go to watch. They're not on my list because, you know what? Over the years, I went from loving comic book movies to liking comic book movies. And it's not because of a fatigue thing or anything. It's just I fell in love with so much more when it comes to film. So many bigger movies, Oscar movies and real deep movies, that the comic book genre to me it's a fun time. I really love the movies, but unless they're Logan level or The Dark Knight, I don't fall in love with them the way I did years back. Staying on the topic of comic book movies, Morbius, this trailer really got me excited for this movie. Can't wait to see Jared Leto again because he got a bad rap for the Joker in freaking Suicide Squad. With the whole movie was bad, and I don't know why he gets the blame for it. He's not a bad actor. He's won an Oscar. He deserved that Oscar. He did a great job in Dallas Buyers Club. I don't expect that kind of performance out of Morbius, but he looks like he's going to kill it in this role. Another category that anything they do, I'm going to go see and I'm going to be excited for would be Disney. They're coming out with 2 animated movies, Soul and Onward, and I will go see those. But they haven't grabbed me in the ways that old Pixar or Disney movies grabbed me when I was anticipating them. So they didn't quite make the list, but I'm still going to go see them day one. And the last 2 honorable mentions that I have to mention are Godzilla vs. Kong. I've loved every movie. Well, not loved. I've liked or loved every movie that they put out in this MonsterVerse. Godzilla 2014 I thought was great. I went to see that in theaters. I was one of the only people that liked it. And now people are starting to come out and say how they liked it. But when it first came out, it got shitted on. Literally shitted on by everyone. And then Kong Skull Island came out. And while I didn't love that one either, I really, really enjoy that film. And I think they really got the aspect of Kong that other films were missing. And I loved it. Last Godzilla, King of the Monsters, I believe it was called, last year came out. It wasn't as bad as people said. It wasn't great, but the style that they shot the film, the monster fights were great. The human aspect did take away from it to a point, but it's still an enjoyable movie. And I just can't wait to see Kong face off with Godzilla. The only reason it didn't make my list is we haven't really seen anything. It's been delayed. We saw one little shitty clip of them running at each other, and then it clips away and says Godzilla vs. Kong. I do think that I will like it, but I've yet to see anything on it. And lastly, Halloween Kills, the follow-up to, my opinion, a disappointing Halloween movie. It was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. It just disappointed me. I heard so many great things about it, and it wasn't as good as everyone said it was. It was a solid movie. I can't wait for the next one, though, because I do love this character. I love this story. And I think they could do a lot of cool things with it going forward. But let's get back into my main list and get into the number one film I'm anticipating for 2020. And that would be Tenet. The cast, John David Washington, my bad, and Robert Pattinson, they're two great actors. They've both been in the Oscar-y roles for the past years. John David Washington's more so newer on the scene. He started up in Ballers, absolutely love that show. And then he did BlacKkKlansman, where he did a phenomenal job. Not quite Oscar-worthy in my opinion, but he did a great job. I thought he was deserving of at least critically acclaimed status, and he did get that. And then Robert Pattinson has just been killing it, role after role for the past few years. And for him to team up with this director, Christopher Nolan has never, ever put out a bad movie. Every movie he's put out is good to great. There's no under good. His worst movie to people is Interstellar, and I think Interstellar's a great movie. So I don't know why anyone would expect him to not do great in this one. Dunkirk, another great film. But I will say a lot of people were mixed on that one compared to usual when it comes to Christopher Nolan, but I loved it. The Dark Knight trilogy, great. His worst movie, in my opinion, actually is the third movie in the Dark Knight trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises, but it's still a great movie. It's just not amazing. It's a good movie. Tenet, the trailer blew my mind. It looks like Inception mixed with like an action movie, and I can't wait. I'll be there day one. I'm sure most of you will if you're into movies the way I am, and if you're not, I don't know why you're watching this movie, but thanks for stopping by. I hope you subscribe, like the video, comment down below what your anticipated movies of last year is, what you thought of my list, and I'll see you next time.